My husband, who was working away from home, came back with a woman and dropped a bombshell on me.
This is my girlfriend. I met her while I was away. She's really great.
Are you saying you've been cheating?
Yeah, I have. Anyway, that's how it is, so I want a divorce.
I was stunned by his sudden demand for a divorce. Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. You're not charming, you're infertile, and there was nothing good about being with you. Just sign the divorce papers already.
At that moment, I felt something inside me break. I can't be married to this person anymore. If that's how he feels, then I'll give him his divorce. And so I signed the divorce papers in front of my smirking husband and his mistress. 3 years later, my ex-husband Elliot would come to learn a certain truth. My name is Angela, 34 years old. I'm a working mom raising my 1-year-old daughter. My husband's name is John. He's a busy company executive, but he's always caring for me and our daughter. But the thing is, John is my second husband. First, I want to talk about my hellish first marriage with Elliot. After graduating from college, I joined a company in a general position and worked hard. When I was 26, a friend introduced me to a man. That man was Elliot, who would become my ex-husband. He was a salaried worker at a small to medium-sized company. During our relationship, I found his somewhat forceful nature to be manly.
I love kids, so I want to have them right away when I get married.
He used to say that during our courtship. I took it as a sign that he was serious about our future together, which made me happy. After 2 years of dating, we got married and started living together. At that time, my income was slightly higher than his. Maybe that hurt his pride, because he began to act arrogantly towards me right after we got married. He expected me to do all the household chores. He bossed me around in a commanding tone and never said thank you. I felt like I was living like a servant. Besides his attitude, we had another problem. We couldn't have children, even after nearly 2 years of marriage. My mother-in-law, Susan, who had been kind before, started making snide remarks. Why can't you get pregnant even after all this time? I'm sorry. My friend just had her second grandchild. I want to hold my grandchild in my arms soon. I was under pressure from her and struggling with fertility issues, but we still couldn't conceive. When Elliot found out I wasn't pregnant again that month, he lashed out at me in frustration.
I love kids and I want them soon. You remember me saying that, right? So why can't we have them?
It's not something we can make it happen as planned, you know. Why don't we go to the hospital together next time?
That's unnecessary. The problem is obviously with you.
Me?
Yes, you. Pay more attention to your diet. It's your fault we can't have kids.
Saying that, he sulked and went to bed alone. I was anxious because we couldn't conceive. Elliot was uncooperative with fertility treatments, so I had to do everything I could on my own. During this time, he got transferred to a branch office far away for about 2 years.
What do you want to do? Do you want to come with me?
But I have my job too.
Okay, I'll go alone then. You don't need to come with me.
And just like that, he left for his assignment, and I felt a sense of relief. Maybe our marriage needed this time apart. That's what I thought. Even though he often called and came home once a month, living alone was honestly more relaxing as I only had to take care of myself. About 6 months after he left, I noticed a decrease in his communication. He often wouldn't answer my calls and ignore my messages. The frequency of his visits home also decreased, and I started feeling uneasy. My suspicions were confirmed soon after. On the day he returned after a long absence, the intercom of the auto-lock entrance suddenly rang. Looking at the screen, I saw a young woman standing behind him. Feeling uneasy, I prepared to record the room before letting them in. Welcome home. And this is? Next to a smug Elliot, a petite woman was grinning. Hi, I'm Gina. Nice to meet you, Angela. I'm asking Elliot, not you. Who exactly is this woman?
She's my girlfriend from where I'm working.
Excuse me? Elliot, with his arm around Gina, declared.
She takes great care of me while I'm away from home. She's really a great girl.
Do you even understand what you're saying?
Of course. Anyway, that's how it is. So I want a divorce.
Faced with his sudden demand for a divorce, I was frozen. Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. You're not charming. You're infertile, and there was nothing good about being with you. Just sign the divorce papers already.
At that moment, I felt something inside me break. I can't be married to this person anymore. If that's how he feels, then I'll give him his divorce. And so I signed the divorce papers in front of my smirking husband and his mistress. Getting a divorce involves a lot of detailed procedures and explanations to those around you. I was so exhausted that I didn't ask for any alimony from them. In fact, I was even relieved to part ways smoothly. Sometime later, I received a call from an unknown number.
Hello, my name is John. I was engaged to the woman who was involved with your husband.
I was shocked. I had no idea Gina was engaged. He explained that he found out about Gina's affair and wanted to claim compensation, but lacked evidence, so he tracked me down and contacted me. He asked if I knew anything or had any concrete proof. I remembered I had recorded their visit to our house and agreed to meet with him to share it. John turned out to be a decent young man.
I've been busy starting my own company. Because of that, I neglected her, and she ended up getting involved with your husband. I'm sorry for the trouble.
No, you don't need to apologize for that. We both had bad luck. So I handed over the video evidence to him, and we parted ways that day. He and I continued to stay in touch. According to him, Gina was in a panic, not expecting the engagement to be called off. She showed up at my place wanting to witness the drama. She never intended to marry Elliot. It was just a fling.
I'm glad I didn't end up marrying such a twisted person,
he said with a wry smile. Later on, I learned that Gina reluctantly married Elliot after paying the compensation. Whether he knew she only considered him a fling was unclear. Knowing that they were living together didn't affect me at all. I couldn't care less what they were up to. What surprised me was when John asked me out.
Talking to you, I realized how sincere and strong you are. It's a strange way to meet, but I'm attracted to you as a person.
He said this seriously, and I nodded. I had started to become interested in the capable and kind John myself, so we started dating with marriage in mind. Things progressed quickly, and a year after my divorce from Elliot, I remarried. Life is full of surprises. My marriage with John was very happy. He was busy running his company, but always helped with the housework and cared for me. And to our great joy, I became pregnant soon after we got married. He was over the moon about this. We eagerly awaited the birth of our child. This is how our daughter Pearl was born. He doted on her, becoming a wonderful hands-on dad. He would change her diaper and soothe her without me having to say anything. I adored Pearl, and we lived happily. Before I knew it, nearly 3 years had passed since I split from Elliot. Pearl was now a year old and learning to walk. She was at her cutest. One day I took her to a shopping mall a little way from home. That's when someone called out to me from behind.
Hey, look who it is.
What? I turned around to see Elliot, whom I hadn't seen in about 3 years. His hair had thinned, and he was dressed shabbily.
I knew it was you. Long time no see, Angela.
He approached with a happy look on his face. I stepped back. What are you doing here?
Well, a lot happened after that, and I moved back home.
I see. Well, I have to go now. I pushed Pearl's stroller, intending to leave.
Wait, that kid.
His eyes sparkled as he looked at my daughter. I quickly stood in front of her to shield her.
Let me see her more. She's adorable. Why didn't you tell me you had a kid?
And why exactly would I do that?
She's mine, right? She's so cute. Listen, let's get remarried. She needs a father.
Excuse me? I almost laughed. Remarry? Didn't you marry Gina?
Oh, I divorced her. She was a terrible woman.
He began to pour out his story. Gina got pregnant soon after their marriage. But when a baby boy was born, his blood type revealed Elliot wasn't the father.
DNA tests showed he wasn't mine. Can you believe it? She was such a wicked woman. I was totally deceived.
Gina, who flirted with a married man, despite being engaged. Her true nature should have been obvious from the start. I was appalled, once again, by her awfulness. But I had no sympathy for him.
So, that's why I'm lonely now. I should be building a happy family with children at my age, but here I am, still single. But meeting you and our kid like this? Wow, I never knew I had a kid. I thought you were infertile, but it must have been my good DNA. This is the happiest thing. So, where do you live now? Maybe I should move there too.
I stayed silent, and he continued.
What? Still mad about back then? But it can't be helped. You were infertile and Gina was young and cute. Maybe it's fate that we're meant to be together.
He grinned as he rambled on. Just then, someone else approached us.
What's going on, babe?
My husband John, who had been shopping nearby, came over. Elliot's eyes widened when he saw him.
You are...
He looked confusedly between me and John.
Hey, what's going on here? Angela, why are you with Gina's ex-fiancé?
So, I explained it to him. I think you've met before, but let me introduce him to you. This is my husband John.
What?
He was shocked, his mouth agape, and John sarcastically greeted him.
Long time no see.
They had met once before.
Angela, you got remarried?
Yes, so of course this child is his. Don't they look alike? He looked back and forth between John and Pearl, growing paler by the second.
Is that true? Why? How could you be with this man?
I met him after our divorce. He was gathering evidence to break off his engagement with Gina. That's how we met.
She's right. The only thing I have to thank you for is being the reason I met her.
Elliot gritted his teeth at John's words. I pressed on. By the way, at the time, Gina really didn't want to break up with John. She made quite a fuss.
She did?
She actually wanted to marry John. She said you were just a fling.
No, she loved me.
Apparently, he didn't know that she was only playing with him. He started holding his head in distress. If I still loved you, I wouldn't have had John's child, would I?
Thanks for taking that bad deal off my hands.
Elliot trembled as we took turns speaking. I decided to drop another bombshell. But honestly, it was impossible for Gina to have your child in the first place.
What do you mean?
Because you can't father children. Indeed, just before he went on his assignment, I had secretly submitted a sample of his to a hospital for testing. It revealed that natural conception was nearly impossible for him. He turned red at my words.
That can't be. The infertility issue was all your fault. There's no way I can't have children.
Oh, really? I got pregnant with John's child easily, you know? If you don't believe me, go to the hospital yourself. Elliot looked up at the sky, his face changing color. John then spoke up.
This meeting was a coincidence, but please, refrain from bothering my wife and daughter from now on. What? Why should I listen to you? Because I'm their husband and father. I'll take legal action if necessary. Shut up! What can a guy running a nearly bankrupt company do legally?
That's when I spoke up. John's company has grown quite a bit, and he has a legal counsel. who were dead serious. Realizing he couldn't stand up to John, Elliot turned around to leave. I called out to him as he looked back expectantly. This meeting must be fate. I'm going to claim alimony for your infidelity.
What? You can't do that now. What are you talking about?
It's only been 3 years since the affair was discovered. Look forward to the legal notice.
Damn it!
He cursed and fled the scene. Afterwards, I asked John's company lawyer to claim alimony from Elliot. He paid it from his meager savings. Furthermore, not believing me, he went for an infertility test, which confirmed he couldn't have children. He absurdly asked me to divorce John and come back with a child. When John firmly refused, Elliot stopped contacting us. He's now living alone in a shabby apartment, shunned by his family, without savings, leading a lonely, sad life. I feel no sympathy for him. It's a fitting end. As for me, I'm living a peaceful life with John and Pearl. We recently discovered I'm pregnant with our second child and are celebrating as a family. I look forward to a happy life with my beloved husband and children. I can't believe that Angela's husband, Elliot, cheated on her while they were married. I'm very glad that Angela and Elliot had a divorce. And it was funny how Elliot was the one who started with a divorce, but now he wanted to get back together with Angela in the end, after confirming that she's not the one who's infertile. I hope Angela will lead a wonderful married life with John and with their kids from now on. Thanks for watching until the end. Please like our video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.